So the Insta360 X5 360 camera came out in April, so it's been about 2 to 3 months now, probably about 3 months or so since I've gotten it. And now that I've been using it for the past few months, I just wanted to go through with you guys kind of like my top 5 features of the new X5. And there's definitely some features in the camera that I really like. And I think the camera got a little bit better when they started releasing a bunch of other accessories and stuff, and we'll talk about that in this video. Now, of course, number one feature of the X5 is the fact that it is a 360 camera, which means you are always out there shooting and recording, and you are capturing everything around. Once you're done shooting, all you do is bring your footage back into the software or into the Insta360 app, and then all you have to do is reframe your subject, make sure you're capturing what you want to see from that 360 footage, and then you just export that clip back out. And they made things pretty simple, especially when you want to use some of their AI features like the AI tracking. That's something I definitely use a lot in the Studio app. Insta360, when they released the X5, also came out with this feature, which is a removable lens kit. For those that have ever used 360 cameras, and I talk about this a lot in my previous videos, the one thing that is really scary about using this camera compared to like a standard action camera like the Ace Pro 2, or the DJI Action, or even a GoPro, is that the lenses on 360 cameras, as you can see here, are exposed. And with those two lenses being exposed, if you were to take a tumble with this, if this were to drop, hit the ground, hit the concrete, hit the asphalt, you're more than likely going to scratch up one or both of these lenses. So when Insta360 released this thing, which is a lens repair kit, basically if you were to scratch up your lens in the past, you would have to send this back to Insta360, you'd have to pay a fee for them to fix it, and then they would send it back to you. It was a long process. Now you can actually do it all yourself, and it's super affordable and really fast to do. And this lens kit comes in, I believe it's around 30 bucks or so. I'll make sure all the pricing is gonna be listed down below. But I believe it's about 30 bucks and you get one lens kit. You don't get two. So if you scratched up both of them, you're gonna need to buy 2 lens kits. Next feature I really like about the X5 is that this is an 8K camera compared to some of the other ones on the market. Now, when we talk about 8K, we are talking about 4K on one side and then 4K on the other. We have 2 lenses, both shooting 4K, so technically they're calling it 8K. However, when you do export out your footage from the raw footage that you get in 8K, you're going to be exporting out in a 4K format. That's definitely something to note because a lot of people don't realize, yes, it does shoot 8K because you're shooting in both lenses, which add up to 8K. However, again, you're gonna be reframing your shot. You're gonna be picking which angle you want. And once you do that, you're gonna then export that footage from Insta360 Studio. And that exported footage will now be in 4K. And the next thing I like about the X5 is that you can now pair it with this right here, which is Insta360 Mic Air. Whenever I would normally use 360 cameras, I would just mount them and not worry so much about audio because I'm more just focused around the footage I'm gonna get, that 360 immersive footage that I would get out of this, and I never really cared too much about the audio. However, Insta360 came out with this, which is a wireless microphone that pairs instantly with the X5 as well as the Ace Pro 2. But now with this Mic Air, all I have to do is pop this on to my chest. We got a little magnet in the bottom. Once it's paired up via Bluetooth, you can now stick this onto a selfie stick just like this. Have this all the way out there and you can walk and vlog with this setup right here. And even though the camera is far away from you, you can still get really clear audio because it is transmitted off of the Mic Air Bluetooth to the Insta360 X5. All right, so the audio you are hearing is coming from the internal microphone on the Insta360 X5. The camera and the mic is about, I'd say about 3 to 3.5 feet away from my mouth. So how does the audio sound? Like I said, this is coming from the internal microphone on the X5. Now we're switching over to the Mic Air. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How does the audio sound? The audio you're hearing is coming from this right here. Little tiny microphone that's sitting on my chest. How does the audio sound? And we actually have dual mic or dual audio enabled, which means I'm able to get audio from here, which is the Mic Air, as well as some audio from the camera itself. So you're able to get a little bit more ambient noise. But how does the audio sound? This is coming from the Insta360 Mic Air. Now, sticking on the same lines as far as accessories go, the one thing I do like about the X5 compared to the X4, and I didn't even talk about it in my X4 video, is the ability to do this right here, which is have a quick release. So you have the quick release, which they had here on the Ace Pro 2, which means you can now use the Ace Pro 2 quick release mounts, just like we have here on my Ace Pro 2, which is a pretty cool quick release. I can pop it off here and I can stick it onto this mount here, and I can do that the same way now with the X5. I can use the quick release mount at the bottom. There's also a 1/4-20 there, so if you just have a regular selfie stick, you can pop it on there. And then if I wanted to go handheld on a smaller, this is my favorite mount here. This is the bite mount. And then I can now use this, again, as a handheld camera. And because this is the bite mount, I can actually... Next, we will jump back to a feature on the camera, and that is the pure video mode that you have here right next to the standard video mode, which now optimizes low light shooting as well as advanced noise reduction on the camera. Now, when I'm in that pure video mode, whenever it's low light or indoor scenarios, I normally don't try to use the camera and like walk too much or run with it. And with most action cameras, whenever you are in really low light or indoor scenarios, you might get that kind of ghosting effect with the electronic image stabilization. This, you can still kind of see it. However, with that pure video mode, they definitely optimize it so you get a lot less than you would if you didn't use that mode. And finally, one of my top favorite features is actually the battery. The battery life on the X5 is pretty good, especially when you're comparing it to the previous models and some other action cameras on the market. The 2400 milliamp battery does really well even in extreme heat and extreme cold temperatures. Now, when shooting 8K 30 frames a second, Insta360 is rating this battery to shoot for over 80 minutes. And when it comes to charging, you can actually fast charge this up to 80% in about 20 minutes. And there it is. Just want to talk to you about some of the features I've really been liking about the X5. Now, this is definitely not a review video. This is more about just talking about some of the things I really like about it. If you guys want to see a more in-depth and comparison video on the X5, I'll leave that video linked above as well as down below in the video description. And of course, if you want to see all of the other features that the X5 has to offer when it comes down to the software, the app, reframing, we have the instant frame mode, we have the me mode. There's a bunch of different settings and modes on here that I talked about in those previous videos, so make sure you guys check those out. And a huge thanks to Insta360. They're actually giving my viewers a pretty good discount for Prime Day. The first 20 people to use my links down below will get 5% off your purchase as well as a free lens replacement kit. As always, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. This is Ultra Nastasio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.